Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sex, Drugs, and Jesus Christ podcast, the Jesus Christ of Nazareth podcast. Hallelujah, Lord. We see you tonight. Thank you for listening in on this episode as Dr. Vernon T. Scott, and I break it down. How you doing,
Some
Doc
tea.
Scott?
Some motherfucking tea. We're having tea time. Oh, yes. I'm doing very well. I have my sleepy time tea because the motherfucker's trying to go to sleep after this. 'Cause might as well. Look, if y'all did not know, I love rest. Rest is a beautiful thing. If it's not in your diet, you need to change your diet. Include rest.
On the seventh day, he rested. Hallelujah, tabernacle, and praise.
Amen.
So,
That's
yo,
the best day.
Hallelujah. So, Dr. Vernon T. Scott is the host of the Holiliquy podcast. He also operates Slater's Playhouse. He is the author of The Essential Guide on How to Be a Hoe. He's also the author of a poetry book called The Prose from a Soul Seeking Justice. He's also the author of a newly released book or journal, which is called The New Sexual You. And they're all at his website. All that's going to go in the show notes, slatersplayhouse.com. But if you'd like to tell people anything about you, those things I just said, or any fucking thing at all, go ahead and open your sperm squirter.
Oh my God. Well, I'm just visualizing that. Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
But
'cause nobody fits anyway.
So I will say the only thing I will have to add on that, if you do not know who I am by this time, you need to go back on all of the Vannon's podcast episodes and find a motherfucker because at a point you get tired of having to read and talk about exactly who you are. I'm a regular, y'all, so get to know me. But for real, I have an education background. I'm in school right now to become a marriage and family therapist because the motherfucker's always in school, apparently. I got degrees on degrees, and my degree has a degree now. So, happy to be here. I focus on sexual health, sexual wellness, and just people living more fulfilled lives and owning their sexualities and their living their authentic them. So, that's a little bit about me.
Living their authentic them. Um, that's a good thing to be. And we're gonna be talking about two people today who were not quite what they seem to know. I'm not talking about my ex. We're gonna be talking about we're gonna be talking about we're talking about American Manhunt, which is a docu-series on Netflix about the Boston Marathon bombing.
Yes, yes.
And so the Boston Marathon bombing was a domestic terrorist attack that took place during the annual Boston Marathon on April 15th, 2013. You like my Boston accent I'm doing?
Yes,
I'll play
yes.
you.
I know they're gonna be upset.
Well, they're gonna be upset after I read them for filth for how they read them for filth what I saw in this documentary.
Mhm, mhm.
Brother is I think 19-year-old Zokar with his fine ass and 27-year-old Tamerlan Tsarnaev planted two homemade pressure cooker bombs, which detonated near the finish line of the race 14 seconds and 210 yards or 190 meters apart. Three peoples was killed and hundreds injured, including 17 who lost limbs. This is the largest marathon, I think, in the world. You cannot just like put on your coochie shorts and go trot down in this marathon. You have to qualify to be in this marathon. And so if you make it into this marathon, bitch, it's a big deal. It's a really fucking big deal. Get your trophy, bake your special cake, get your dick sucked when you get home, or your pussy licked for glory, because
Oh god.
this is
I love it. I love this. Hold up. I might need to, like let me do some marathon running right there. If that is the prize, bitch.
so this shit went down and it took them only 101 hours to chase these two guys down, murder one, snatch the other one. And and so that's what we're going to be digesting here. It's a three-part series on Netflix. They're roughly all 1 hour each. Dr. Scott, what are your initial thoughts on this shit?
So when watching, so my initial thoughts were just like, first I was like, why can police officer not be this effective when it comes to solving most crimes? Like we have motherfuckers going door to door and all this other shit. We have a whole ass, I don't know what the thing was called, but that little, I think it was an old plane, whatever the fuck it was. They have this whole ass facility they have with all this fucking evidence so that they could go through all this shit. And I'm like, can we not do this with other things? Why is it that we're still in 2023 and rape kits from 1985 have still not been processed? What the fuck are we doing? So I'm like, I love the effectiveness of the police in that only, but at the same time, I'm just like, y'all failed at so many fucking levels. Like the FBI, they're part of like, oh, we got a warning from Russia, but we didn't really take that seriously. We looked into this person and they did not have any kind of red flags. And personally, I feel as though that the reason why there was no red flags is because they didn't look the part, because they were white presenting Muslim men and they were just like, well, at least man, because it was the oldest one that they were looking at. They were just like, oh, it's all good. They're not a danger. We're not going to do anything about this. But Russia was like, bitch, here's the tea. Look at this motherfucker. And they were just like, it's all good. And here we are. And the other thing is, it just was a quick reminder of how easily people can be radicalized in this damn country. And a lot of that is because w- we are, we succumb to very negative and propaganda and the narratives that is pushed about different religions, races, and all this other shit, skin tones. And it's just like, this this man fell in that trap and then went down a very, very deep dark hole, and here we are. Motherfuckers got blasted, people died, people were injured, and people's lives were changed forever because of this motherfucker and his insecurities about being denied one thing. So it's so much.
Tell us what he was denied.
Oh, to was it to be on the Olympic team for boxing or some shit like that? Or to go pro boxing? Like, the fact that his boxing instructor was like, "Hey, there's other ways that you can get to this goal." And he was like, "Fuck that. It's because America's racist." Yes, America is racist, but you probably were not ready yet. And that's okay. It's okay. Oh god.
Now, before this happened, he had traveled back to, I think, like the Czech Republic or wherever it is that they're from over yonder ways. And
Mhm.
that's where he allegedly got radicalized, they think. Even at the end of the documentary, there were so many unanswered questions. I know one of them boys or both of them was reading Inquire magazine, which is something that is, fuck, it's either Al Qaeda or one of those terrorist groups. Is like a magazine they put out, and like he was reading in there how to make a pressure cooker in your mom's kitchen. I mean, how to make a bomb in your mom's kitchen using a pressure cooker.
Ooh,
You
that's a tick.
know, we we've come a long way from Martha Stewart living, bitch. That's not what I was taught to make in a pressure cooker. I thought some pot roast or some shit, but apparently you could get you a whole bomb going on.
Right.
I wanted so there's a man named UC who appears throughout all three of these episodes. He has on a blue to do, and I just want to say that he's fine as hell. And if you out there, you
Oh
you
my god,
sleep
now he's shooting his shot.
and you hear this broadcast, do email me because we need to go out on a date.
He said pussy is fresh.
Look, fresh is best unless you're into some other things, and so we can do that too. So, and he's super intelligent. And he just has a lot of quick-witted things that he says throughout.
Mm.
I'm going to come at this from his angle first because everybody likes to beat up the criminal. Having four fucking felonies and having been arrested more times than I care to realize, I'm going to be playing devil's advocate during this and taking more of the side of the bombers. And fuck
Ooh,
y'all, you don't like it because
that's the part. I love a villain. I love me a villain now. Hold up. We
I'm
might be
gonna
on
be
the same page. Convince me, because I'm of the viewpoint that he was just insecure. But I'm here well, there's more things behind my belief system, but that was, like, the starting point. But I would love to hear this devil's advocate. Yes, yes.
Oh, I'm not devil's advocating for them to justify them.
I
I'm just
could
I'm just being in their corner like you see. So what you see was saying was after they found Zokar, he was hiding in the boat and everything like that, and the people everyone was happy, but him and his friends were not. Some person came up running up to you, see, going, "Yay, we caught him," and they were like, "Fuck you," and everything, and they were confused because I'm stepping into the mindset of Yusif and Zokar and Tamerlan friends, these 2 boys' parents and shit like that.
mm,
Having been beat the fuck up by the criminal justice system, it's hard whether you're right or wrong, you already know what you done is wrong. You don't fucking need nobody to repeatedly tell you that. And so what Yusuf was saying is that it changed his life forever. He said he forgot who he was because he felt very, very let down by these 2 people. I'm coming at this from the mental health standpoint of the devastation to their loved ones. These people may have been villains to everyone else, but they were not villains to the entire world. Y
mm,
that's how I'm gonna be, like, looking at this as we go along.
I get that, I get that.
And I relate with him, and y'all, I'm not gonna be talking about this show is not actually about my drama. There's gonna be other shows that I release about that, but wherever there's correlation, I'm gonna make brief ones. You know, their point UC's point was that it's fucked up when you think you know somebody and come to find out they're capable of shit to include murdering people that
Mm,
and that shit happens and it makes you question yourself. Who are you? How could fuck could you have missed this? That sort of thing going on. I wonder if on some level they partly felt responsible for it.
mm.
But and I feel that same way having just detached myself from somebody who completely, didn't know them at all, after 5 years. What do you think about this mental mind fuck that happens to people like that?
No, I think that's a fair argument because even when it comes to individuals who may, like, commit suicide, people start to question, "What is it that I could have done to make sure that they didn't go down this path? Was I not a friend to them? Was I not supportive enough? Did I not step in when I needed to, help them? Was my lack of response to this one text message was the one thing that triggered them to do the deed?" E so I truly get that argument because when you have friends and you've known them for some time and you found you found brotherhood with these people, familial connections with these people, they're a part of your everyday life, and they go out and do something horrendous. You really have to reevaluate. Am I somebody who enables this behavior? Is there something that I've been missing this entire time that would have told me that they were capable of doing something this dastardly to other people? Like, what is it about myself that attracted this individual to the point that they were able to trust me enough that, 1, I'm glad I wasn't murdered, but that I was one of those people that they wanted to protect. What if I was in that crowd? Would they have still done that? Was would I have been somebody that was worthy of sacrifice? Like, there's so many questions that would run through somebody's head just by, knowing them or being associated with them. Like, even when it came to I think it was the 3rd one, and they were talking about how some of the friends were covering up and that the FBI was, like, interviewing them and everything, and they suspected that they were a part of this and that it wasn't only just, the older brother and the younger brother that was a part of this, and I'm like, "What makes you think that? What links do you have to say that they're guilty of association? What do you have to say that they are covering things up?" Because it's possible to know some people who do very horrible things and have absolutely no idea that this is what they're doing in their personal lives because it is their personal lives.
Mhm. Tell a friend, bitch. And we're gonna be talking about them janky ass police. And I just want to let y'all know. So this is Boston and Watertown is like northeast. Watertown is where homie was like hiding at and shit. He was hiding in the boat in the back of a house, like, a block away from the getaway car, and the police scanned this whole fucking town and missed the whole bloody ass boat. Like,
feel
"What?
like
It's there."
I was like, y'all had all the energy to go to every fucking door, and be like, "Where he's at? We're going upstairs, we're going downstairs, we're going to your motherfucking shed," but we missed the boat that had the blood on it. It's the boat. There was a person. Was it a man or a woman who had to be like, "Oh, I have a boat," or something like that? Or, like, did someone have to be tipped that it's a possibility he was out in the boat?
Yeah, homie called them, was like, "There's a bloody shirt in my house," or something like that, and there's, like, someone hiding in the boat, and there's blood, so you all might wanna come look.
Like, what?
Look, police are pretty fucking terrible, and without citizens tipping them off and snitching and shit, they couldn't get the job done. You know, they too busy, I don't know, eating donuts and drinking coffee or what the fuck ever, or having their own mental health issues because cops are not right in the head. They're throw the fuck off. There's
Hell
too much
yeah.
stress. There's too much stress. There's too much narcissism and things that prevail in the police department.
My thing is they be advertising all these dogs that they have that could sniff this thing out, sniff that thing out. Nobody thought about, "Hey, do we have anything that belongs to this man? Scooby Doo could have found this motherfucker before the police did. Like, what the hell?"
That's what they
That
was.
one would have been like, "Jinkies, is that blood?" Oh my
That's what they needed, some fucking weed. Shaggy, you right, Shaggy could do it out there.
god. Like, we've been out here for 12 hours and we haven't eaten. Bitch, we finding them in 3 minutes. The fuck you mean? I want my food.
And then when
Uh,
they said that the SWAT team was so tired, they had to go to the hospital, you know, I was like, "Wait a minute." I'm thinking about from Queens of Comedy when Queen Adele was making that joke, was like, "You bitches are, like, weak. Like, what bitch you know so damn tired she got to go to the fucking hospital from shit like exhaustion?"
ooh, child,
Whatnot.
ooh.
I was like, "You know what? I've never been a SWAT cop, but I have been in the military, and I have worked, you know, 12-hour days and shit before. So, and I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying, you so tired you got to go to the hospital, eyebrow raised, but you know, the Lord be with you."
Mhm. May you have a great evening with the rest that you got at the hospital because I only have a bed, motherfucker, you know?
So my first touch of shade here comes to the people of the United States. These
Mm,
United States centered on the people of Boston, because I think this is one of, if not the worst countries in the world. Okay. I
the
don't subscribe. Hmm?
the worst.
Right. I
Don't
don't.
move here, people. If y'all see this, don't move here. Don't move here. This is not me saying like, "Oh, we're the greatest country in the world. Don't move here, blah, 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 blah. Take our jobs." No, just don't move. It's dangerous.
Mm, very much so. You got more guns than you got fucking people or some shit like that. Mass shootings fucking every day, or a few a day, averaging out. This is not the greatest country.
Mhm.
This country was built on an idea of equality, like President Biden likes to say, and he's not wrong. He also admits that we haven't made it yet, and he hasn't given up on that. Well, I'm gonna leave y'all's asses here to work on it. I'm getting me a dual citizenship with Mexico, and I'm
Ooh,
buying me property down there. And Vernon, you're invited to come stay in my condo because I'm gonna go somewhere where the country's run right. And the cartel, now I'm not talking about border cities or like resort towns. I'm about deep in fucking Mexico, like in Jalisco territory and shit. Down there in Puerto Vallarta, you know, places like that where shit is cheap and people just are happy to be there, and everybody looks out for each other.
ooh, I love
So, so, what pissed me the fuck off in this documentary was how all of these people, after this bombing happened, are all like, and then after they catch them, are like, USA, USA, God bless America. The Red Sox are playing baseball and they come out with Boston jerseys on, saying, you know, this doesn't say Red Sox or whatever team. This jersey says Boston today because we can't be kept down. I say, yeah, that's good, bitch. And you do need to have you some esprit de corps. But what I hate about this country is that shit only happens after a travesty has occurred. It has to be 9/11. It has to be this, it has to be that. But I didn't see this with Rodney King got fucking beat down. I
That
didn't
part.
see this during like the Los Angeles riots. I didn't see this when tell me his name, the dude who
George
couldn't
Floyd.
George Floyd. I didn't see USA USA. And then and I'm going to reference my previous relationship just briefly. This does not constitute healthy cohesion. It was Jesus Christ who said it's the little foxes that spoil the vine, not big ass shit like these emergencies. So if you're in a relationship with somebody, or like in this case here, it's the little shit they don't do, showing up on time, not buying you presents or following through on their promises, disrespecting you with sly comments. Those things chuck away at your spirit and your inner man, inner woman, inner other, gender, whatever you want to call it, and it slowly erodes you, and before you know it, you're hurt in a deeper way than what you thought. It's not the big shit. Same thing with problems like this: daily racism, daily hatred, fucking couple of day mass shootings. That is a problem. So the country can get together over some shit like this, but that's not when we need USA USA. We need that shit every day for every injustice that happens, not this big shit here that gets people's all emotions stirred up.
I agree with you 100%, and I firmly believe that the only reason why the Boston Marathon got such a huge following, well, I can't say following, but like media covering is because of how big of the event it is, that you have international people who are running in this marathon, and you have people from multiple countries looking at this, wanting to cheer on their relative that's in this marathon that is running, that you hope to see on the news, hope to see them on somebody's pro broadcast. That's the word. Like, you have all these different cultures just happy to see this, and then you have this tragedy. So now, yes, let's go ahead and recognize this. But at the same time, I also have to point out that it dealt with a lot of white people too. And because of that, you get that Boston, this is American pride, USA pride, because guess what was also international? The thing that happened to George Floyd, you had countries that were protesting for justice for George Floyd, but all our Congress, our government, our public officials, our what is it, our civil servants or whatever title they want to have in terms of like leadership and whatnot, their form of justice was just putting on a kente cloth and taking a nail and thinking that was going to solve the damn problem of racism in this damn country, rather than addressing the issues at hand, rather than still not passing the George Floyd Policing Act, still not passing anything for voting security and registration and making sure that people can actually vote. Nothing to do with actually protecting rights of people, nothing to do with anything to support trans lives in this country. But of course, we can always give the illusion.
Concur. It all goes down to racism again. One of
Mhm,
the huge in the patriarchy, old white men run shit and that mindset prevails. You know, like you were saying earlier with the propaganda, people don't really think for themselves as much as they think they're thinking for themselves. Propaganda comes through politics, through Fox News, especially through Tucker Carlson, different people like that, you know, and people are radicalized here in the United States and they go out thinking they think what they think. I cannot tell you how many times I ask a person, why do you think what you think? Why do you feel what you feel? Why do you believe what you believe? Why do you have that concept in your head? And they cannot render a reason. But what they are is emotional.
mhm.
And what has happened is they have been pre-programmed by their cell phone, social media, and whatever, and the news. And then they go out and they do shit. In this documentary, a huge theme was a targeting of Muslim people. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, so white people, and in this documentary was showing how like your Fox Newsy type people were on there going, it's time to racially profile. We need to have this. They're coming for you. The fear mongering and stuff like that. They latched on to that and they were like, it is okay to be racist and just to hurt
Mhm.
people because of their color and to come after them. that boy Abraham at the end of this, who was a friend of Zokar and Tamerlan, they went to his house to interview him because they were on the mixed martial arts team to interview him. Supposedly, he confessed to helping and bomb rush the agents there, and then they shot and killed him, allegedly. Now, everybody knows they went in there and just gunned him down and made that up.
Mhm. Sure. Like, the thing like, this is why I hate our government so much is because the lies that just doesn't add up in the gaslighting that goes with it, because if any person you say is coming to you to confess, when you think about confession and then you say bone rush you or charge at you, try to attack you, those 2 things don't align. Like, mentally, those things don't align because you have somebody who's saying, "I am guilty. Lock me up." Why will I fight you? Why would I try to attack you? Why would I do anything to harm you because I know you have a weapon? But I came here to confess my sins of being a part of, but now I'm dead. What? But this also gives people the leeway to create so many fantastical storylines of what may have happened, which goes to a lot of these hypothetical or hypothesized arguments that becomes a conspiracy, and then you have people who fall down another little rabbit hole because our government continues to lie.
Our government continues to lie, and then people continue to be too lazy to do their own research. People have two fucking eyeballs in their head. There's people who can't physically see, who are more informed than people who can physically see. The thing about eyes is why some people who are blind are more blessed than people who can see is because it limits options in the sense of you can't get distracted with every fucking thing you put your beady little eyes on. And one of my favorite quotes that I coined myself is that options are the illusion of freedom. You know, People are enslaved to all the different things that they can go out there in the world and do. But, it's sometimes better to just be a laser focused, so a blind person has to listen and pay attention to what the fuck they're being told, or they're gonna walk into some shit, until they learn how to guide themselves, or things
Mhm.
like that. Information is everything. When you don't have like actual natural eyesight, you gotta go off of senses more. So, in my opinion, I'm more blessed. But what do you think?
No, I agree. There's so many people who look at whatever media it is and listen to whatever is feeding them, and they just go down that and accept it as being truth rather than actually paying attention to what's being said to them or even trying to connect the dots. Yeah, we have very short attention spans, especially these days in the world of TikTok, where most people can only handle like a minute worth of content. Going beyond that, people's minds are not going to really keep up with everything that's going on because they're not as focused as people used to be. Somebody who lacks sight, they're not looking for the instant gratification. They're looking for more of a fulfillment. They're looking for things that they have to digest. And people have to be willing to close their eyes on what they see and actually listen to what's being told to them and how it's being told to them and how these messages are mixed matched to support a certain narrative. And then they have to challenge their own belief system or whatever that they've been exposed to so that they can understand how they relate to these certain things that they're hearing about. But if they're not willing to do the self work or even critically think beyond someone telling them information, then unfortunately they'll just stay deaf, blind, and mute to anything that's going on.
As Alanis Morissette said it from that fabulous Jagged Little Pill album, the song is called "Wake Up." And the bridge says that it's so easy not to. It's so easy not to. And, it's much easier to just stay racist. It's much easier to just stay an asshole. It's much easier to stay a narcissist. It's much easier to just stay hateful because to really dig deep. and the challenge, the shit you were taught by your family who you trusted is not something that a lot of people tend to be able to do.
Mhm.
Change is hard, and sometimes unless people have a personal stake in it, unless it's gonna hurt them somehow, they'll just stay like they are. They don't give a damn about hurting other people and shit like that. It's like it's like you have that white friend with 4 racist ass white friends, but then you have that one white person that's not. You're like, "I'm not racist." "Yeah, but you know damn well your friends are, and you are cool with hanging out with them, so fuck you too."
Exactly.
Because you would rather stay with your friends than tell them to go fuck off than to get around some people who are open-minded. I don't have no goddamn racist friends, no bigoted friends. Hell no. Mm-mm, don't play it.
Mhm. I'm the same. Like, can I have a conversation with somebody who happens to be racist or extremely bigoted? Yes, I can do that, but you are not gonna be in my friend group because there's a certain type of energy that I like to keep, and you just don't match that. And
Mm,
that you have to deal with whatever you want to deal with. And I think another conversation that a lot of people have to, like, recognize when it does come to racism is that some people cling on to racism because they don't want to accept their own mediocrity. It's okay to be mediocre. It's nothing wrong with that. But because racism gives you that belief that you're always superior because of your race alone, it doesn't matter how mediocre you are. You don't have to improve because you're better than the other. And when you have to constantly be challenged by that, which is also a reason why I think a lot of racist people love Fox News is because of how the narratives that they push is because, oh yeah, these black people, Asian people, anybody of a different race, Native Americans, they're only successful because they have affirmative action and not because they had to work 18 times harder just to get half of what most white people have in this country, or that we are all very intelligent people because we have to work so hard, because we have to fight for crumb while most white people are given the entire loaf. So it's like having to acknowledge the fact that, oh, this little social construct that we made that I'm just automatically superior makes absolutely no sense and I'm just mediocre is a very, very hard pill for most racist people to swallow.
hmm. So what I'm hearing is a lot of, like, projection that are coming, from the people who spew this hateful rhetoric. It's always easier to just beat someone else up than to go fix yourself,
Mhm,
but you can't fool nobody else without first yourself being fooled, because you can't give away what you don't have, and so, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those motherfuckers from Fox News, go home and, like, cry themselves to sleep, while holding a fucking pillow and drinking a bottle of, like, cheap bourbon. Because a lot of times when people are out here cutting up like the bully in school, the most insecure person is always the one who wants to hurt somebody else.
mhm,
Period.
yeah,
And I'm gonna take it spiritual for a moment and say, all of you hateful, narcissistic, bigoted, racist people are all working for the devil because all of that negative energy comes from him. He was the first fallen. He's the one who cannot rise again, and he is the most bitter of us of you all. And so all that you're doing is an extension of him, and ultimately you allow yourself to be tricked by him so that you can lose your joy in this life and not have a happy afterlife when you depart this plane of existence
mhm.
because you're too focused on other people and what's wrong with them and not fixing you. And he's eating up your time until you have none left.
Yeah, not to say Tucker Carlson is the devil, but anyways, but I will say I think that a lot of the people who are trapped within the Fox ecosphere, the media sphere that is Fox News, do not realize how intelligent Tucker Carlson really is. Like, I know he plays the dumb person, but the man, he got all of his education from boarding school for one, and then he also got his higher education overseas, and overseas education is a lot better than the States, just to be real. So he knows everything that he's doing. Now, the only thing on top of that is because he's so racist, there's a certain part of him that will never unlock the true brilliance that he can be. But the man is conniving and he's very brilliant at what he does. So I will give him that. But I need for those people who follow him to recognize that how well he manipulates them and how well he's able to craft a narrative and his writing team as well. Touche, motherfuckers. Touche. Y'all be doing the thing. I'll give it to them. Fuck them, but I'll give it to them.
It is important to understand how powerful your enemies are. But that same thing goes for like Josh Hawley, uh,
Okay.
that fucker down in Florida,
Uh,
that damn governor. What the fuck's his name? I keep Santos keeps coming to mind, and the same Ron DeSantis,
the sanctimonious, the Satan,
as Trump called DeSantis the sanctimonious.
the Satan as well. That's
These
well, he
people,
hasn't called him that, but that's a good one for him too.
oh Lord, after this show releases, and we'll see Trump calling him the Satan too. But
We love it.
but be wrong, that would be the only thing I would agree with Trump on is the Satan part. But Trump is just a satanic. But them boys are all Ivy Leaguers. You know, they're all Ivy Leaguers, which is what makes it worse. It's not like they're ignorant or stupid. You know, it's just like narcissistic people. It's one thing if somebody accidentally hurt you, but when somebody knows all the facts and intentionally moves the pieces around to harm you, which is what the Republican Party does, that's what makes it
Mhm,
more insidious, you know,
mhm.
you know. And so there's a man in this documentary who speaks to the ignorance of Americans. Oh, and he uses the word jihad in order to describe this.
That was good.
So when people, okay, did he not preach?
He taught me something. I was like, granted, I never used the word, but I was like, "Oh, thank you."
But you'll see it. You'll see this, used a lot, both on both sides of the aisle, liberal and conservative. The word jihad is used when people say it, you think of war. The jihad, you think of a terrorist group, particularly the way it is here in America. He explained to us that the word jihad actually means struggle in general for anything. If you're struggling to get your education, if you're struggling to work out, to improve yourself, to plant a garden, is a general term for working hard at something. It does not have to mean terrorist groups coming to fuck you up. When I was in the Middle East, which is where I first discovered, clear teacups, and coffee mugs and shit like that. I put all this pretty shit in there now, and it fucking gives me life. And so I can see all the shit swirling around and shit. And so when I was over there, I learned say one of the key things is that there is no compulsion in religion. They don't force people to go pray or to do this and do that. It's not like the United States. They raise people, they train them. If they fucking want to go do it, great. If they fucking don't, they don't. But people naturally choose to do it. The way that shit's advertised here, they make it seem like if you have a fucking gun to your head, and they have to put a gun to your head. If you don't fucking go, they're gonna kill you. If you don't want to go to the mosque or whatever. It ain't like that at all. One of the tenants. Now I was in Dubai, Oman, Abu Dhabi, places like that. I was not in Saudi Arabia, So when I say the Middle East, these are the countries I was in. And so women over there have a fucking lot of rights. If they get if a man and woman get divorced, courts tend to side with the woman. They have like equal pay. Yeah, she has to wear her whole get up when she's out, but when she's at home, she can wear whatever the fuck she wants, or she's at real close family. You would think women are just under men's foot and oppressed. Them bitches are happy and grinning in the ear to fucking ear, walking around with her get up on, with her purse swinging and her fucking high heels on and getting it, bitch. So basically, if you have not studied a culture intensely or taken your fucking bitch ass over there to immerse yourself in it, you don't fucking know what they're doing from watching the news.
Exactly. Something I add just to piss somebody off because we don't have universal health care over here in the States, but a lot of these countries in the Middle East, they do. So if you're upset, get upset about your government. Okay, that's all I'm going.
Oh yeah, the sultans, the people who run the sheikhs and things like that, the people who run those countries. I was in. don't fuck around. When they had like a flood or like a rare tsunami or something come up because you have that Arabian Peninsula going on over there, the government just went door to door and asked people what the fuck they needed and just cut them the fucking check or just built them another fucking house. They pay people to come out of the far reaches of the desert to move into the city. And these are not no little shacks. Like here, when they build free houses in the ghetto or in the projects, and it's like all of 5 square feet. I saw these free houses, Doc Scott, 2 stories, pool.
So,
How how much they pay for it? 0 fucking dollars.
which country is this? I need to know who I need to speak to. I'm serious. Which country?
It's not gonna work for you because they only give this to citizens. You cannot migrate there and
Well,
get
look, I am a citizen of the world. I am very kind. I'm loving. I don't mind learning about your culture or anything like that. If you need a new hoe to move in, I'd be more than happy to.
and then their starting salaries that are like in the 6 figures. Like everybody is paid over there. There's nobody broke. Everyone's teeth are straight. You don't have to worry about shit like that. That is the Middle East I experience. People are happy. It is not this oppressive, angry, people are coming to get you. It's not like that. That's in the United States.
Look, so don't listen to my podcast. I'm a virgin, so y'all could feel free to invite me over. Like, come on. Like, what can we do? Can I move over there? Like, expedite it, please.
Now, I want to get back on these bitch ass cops because
Oh.
they, Cameron, they pulled a Cleo on his ass from Set It Off and just gunned him down. Okay.
Well, I thought he got hit by the car and he died at the hospital. They were shooting at him and everything. He did get hit, but his cause of death was getting ran over by his little brother.
No shit. Have I all I saw was Cleo. And then the same thing happened to his brother in the boat too.
That
And this,
is true.
and this is what pissed me off was first of all, when the citizen reported that they did the police's work and found uh homie in the boat, police responded who were not even supposed to be there. You had multiple different police divisions working on this case, not just the Boston PD. Okay, all of a sudden, shots rang out. It was something like 160 bullets fired at this boat. And it was the only reason was because one of the police allegedly felt like they saw a gun. Okay. At this point, they're taking it personally.
Mm.
Hey, this is not what police are supposed to do. There's processes and procedures. The commander got on the loud mic and was like, cease fire. They wanted to take him in to have questions answered. At this point, the police are like, fuck the law. The police are like, fuck the law. We're gonna do whatever you want. And they do this every damn day.
Every day. Like the like the thing that really bothered me, I love that no one died in the midst of all of these random ass gunshots that was fired either at the older brother. I need to really learn their names, but the older brother as well as at the damn boat. Because my thing is, yes, a police officer died that night. One of the brothers ended up murdering the police officer, and I get how you can feel some type of way. I get how you can feel saddened by that and have that grief in the moment of doing everything. But your duty as a police officer is not to go out and have a vendetta on somebody just because you feel some type of way because they killed your motherfucking friend. Yes, feel hurt. Feel the pain of that. Grieve your friend. But it is not your job to go out and hunt down somebody because you have a personal vendetta because they harmed you. That police officer had family members. Did they go around carrying a weapon to go to this damn boat to shoot at this child? No, they did not. They had to grieve the right way. That's the same approach that you had. You were not there. You were not called to be on site. There was already officers there that could have looked at the case to figure out if the boy was inside of the damn boat or not. But no, over what, 50 motherfucking police officers showed up just to look and see if somebody's in the boat. Why are you there? You're not needed. Go the fuck home. Y'all aren't going to the hospital because you're tired as fuck. Go to the hospital and sleep it off, bitch. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? No one invited you here. And then the story of, oh, the one bullet that could have killed a baby. And we all know that if that baby would have died, they would just been like, oh, it was just a tragic event, and that baby just happened to die in the line of duty, I guess. And they just gloss on over it. No accountability, nothing for the family to apologize for the actions that they took. But it is what it is with police officers because their guns don't have any names attached to them, and clearly they don't have any names of the actual officers either, who are actually who should be held responsible for the death that they caused for randomly shooting at a boat or in the middle of a street or some shit like that.
All like I said earlier, mentally unstable, narcissistic and used to getting their way, unchecked power. What does the saying go? Power, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Hmm.
You know, but you might feel powerful now, but you won't when you stand before the Lord. You know, when people act like that their day is not going to come, and it will though. So we're talking about these boys' mama. There's a car in Tamerlan. She was on there going, "Them ain't my kids. Mm-mm. Ain't no way they could have done that." Basically, she's like, "I know, because I'm their mother." I'm like, "Well, I'm not judging her for that. I'm just looking at it for her from her pain because she could have been so in shock that she just.
Mm,
You mean they're all the way over there? I think in still Czechoslovakia, wherever, hearing that your that your kids just did this terrorist attack. No mother wants to think her little swaddling child is now this. And I thought about my own mom and what it put her through when I was, a big criminal out in Houston. I've been on the run from fucking police before and stuff like that. And the only two times I've seen my mother cry in my life, Southern women are tough. They don't show emotions and shit.
mm,
Was when my dad had that we know of, or that I know of, his second affair. And because my dad's a narcissist too, and we got at least three in my family. And then that night that I was running from the po and a couple of other people too, and I made it to her in that hotel room that she was in there praying that I would show up, and she had tears in her eyes, and she didn't know if it was gonna be police knocking on that door telling her that I was dead,
mm,
or if it was gonna be me, so I know what it's like to be on the run. Yeah, I know what it's like for a mother. I don't know what it's like for a mother, but, I've seen it's hard on her, so my heart goes out to their parents, you
mhm,
know? I know everybody over here wanted to be like, "Damn them to hell," but, I mean, we do shit too. It may not
mm.
be fucked up as that, but if they gotta be persecuted, fine, let the law do its thing, but there's no need to dance on a grave.
I agree. And I think somebody mentioned it, the guy who did the traveling to see exactly if he was radicalized when he went overseas. I forgot his name, but he mentioned that, like, in his article, the main focus of that was to humanize both of the brothers. And that's the thing that I love that he did that because we often don't see that these are people who either became radicalized or they experience certain traumas in their lives or downfalls and all these other things because human beings do this. Human beings feel these things, and it's understandable from that lens. Does it excuse what they've done? Not at all, but it's just recognizing that this person existed as a human. This person had humanity. This person has loved ones, family who cared for him or will care for them. And they have to live with the aftermath of everything that happens. It's not just to solely demonize these people for whatever they've done. It's also you have to recognize their humanity. And I think it's easy for a lot of people here in the US to dehumanize people because that's what we're used to doing. Most definitely if it's across religious or racial lines. And It it irritates me because we can see documentary on documentary or even that recent series that was made for about Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, oh, we can openly welcome the humanization of this person. And of course, that's fine to show that he had traumas that he was dealing with. That's cool. That's great. But they also glorified what he did within that film too. So that's the other side of the coin that we don't talk about. At least with the brothers, their action was not glorified, but they were humanized. And that's the difference.
Well, in the Dahmer series, the thing about that is I'm kind of happy that they showed the glorification, and y'all, what he means is that Jeffrey Dahmer had, like, fans and shit. You know, when he was locked up, there were people writing him, sending him money, you know, and things like that. He had a copycat. I'm happy that they showed that because people are still getting butchered when they go to hook up with people. You
Mm,
That's still a thing that happens, is that I believe it's happened in this year, you know, and that's only what gets reported. There's only so much airtime, you know, so and I'm not, you know, I'm not like a Dahmer fan or anything like that. I prefer chicken or fish on most days as opposed to chopped up homosexuals. But, but the fact of the matter is there are people out there who still like to eat chopped up homosexuals. So, so
I don't need them. Don't find me. Don't.
not the kind of, and so mental health speaking, the young one, the 19-year-old Zokar, they believe was influenced by Tamerlan. When somebody has a mental break or they are, you know, idealizing, I think their parents had divorced, that was stress on them. You know, I don't see where they were in mental health counseling or anything like that. You know, so some shit happens, we need to go get a counselor. You get HIV, you get some other disease that you can just take a pill for. Your parents get divorced, you break up. You know, we gotta stop just thinking we just gonna skip down the road and the shit is gonna fix itself. It's not. What you're doing is compounding trauma,
Mhm,
like, for lack of better fucking terms, a pressure cooker. And 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 eventually this shit's gonna pop if you just keep letting trauma come on top of trauma, come on trauma, you're not doing anything with it. Trauma go in, you must extract that shit like oil from a Texas oil field, bitch. It's not just gonna seep away.
mhm,
Zakar was not political. One of his, I think, college instructor was talking about how he tried to engage Zakar about politics and social justice, and the boy wasn't interested. So he goes from not interested in that to willing to blow people up. If his mind was overthrown, he feels like he's lost his parents from this divorce. Tamberlin is now his big brother figure, as they illustrated beautifully in this docuseries. Some people look up to their older siblings so much they'll do anything they say without question.
mhm,
Any fucking thing depends on how it was packaged, sold to him behind the scenes. We don't know that because Tamerlan's, you know, dead and shit, but they were very good looking people, you know, you know, clearly throw it off, you know, social, fun, engaging, you know, but their thoughts were not present till nobody saw this coming. So there's a warning there about the things that people keep bottled up in their mind, and there's no way that crazy looks. It's not a race.
mhm,
There, these people, this was the crackhead knocking on your window at the bus stop
mhm.
at all.
Yeah, like, we really do have to focus on mental health, like, many people don't even understand how much racism in general impact our mental health, and that was the trigger for what's the other older brother's name? Tamarin.
Tam-
Tamarin? Okay.
Tamerlan.
Wait, can you say again?
Tamerlan.
Oh, Tamerland, okay, yeah, so that was the trigger for I feel like I said it wrong again, it's I'm Southern, y'all, don't blame me, but the older brother. So the his that one experience of finally feeling rejected because of something that may have been due to his religion or race or anything like that was the thing that really brought him to the point of wanting to be radicalized. Because they mentioned it multiple times that he started to dive deeper into his faith and taking on more extreme views after that incident happened. Now, I don't want to say that it's the religion or him diving into his religion that brought him to that point, but it was just not having those answers, not having the understanding of why he was rejected or why he's in this predicament that he's in that forced him to evaluate himself and have a lot of negative self-thought to the point that it made him become more radicalized as time went on. And in doing so, he began to bring his brother into that, and his brother was a lot younger at that time too, and many people do overlook how malleable the young mind can be, how you can easily mold a younger person into radicalism, which is why you have many young adults who may shoot up a school or think even Kyle Rittenhouse as like he fell for all of the propaganda and decided to go to Kenosha and do whatever the fuck he did. But of course, this is not to excuse his behavior, but, it was that molding, that building this facade for him that got him to that point. The same thing happens with that younger brother. The same thing that happens to a lot of the youth in this country. They're receiving messages that, "Oh, this is the way things are," or people are out to get them. I even had to have a conversation with my younger cousin who thought that there was literally a war against men in this country because of whatever the fuck was going on in his high school and them talking about that. And I had to let him know, you can look at women. It's okay. It's not going to be considered sexual assault just by looking up at a woman. Like, what the fuck are y'all going through right now? Like, what is this stuff that y'all are being fed? So, these messages on young minds really do have lasting impacts.
The fuck was his parents at?
Child working. I'll be honest. And
The hell you go
it's a lot.
y'all stop having children if you're not prepared to actually teach them about this world. I know when people have children, it is perpetually selfish. I'm not judging you. God
Mhm,
be fruitful and multiply, but y'all know people say it. They're like, we want a child because we want something to love or to save our marriage, or I'm ready to have a child. You're not having a kid for the fucking kid's sake. You're having a kid for you. So when
mhm,
once they're done being a little cute thing for you to pet, you actually have to still teach them shit. And so, there's no fucking reason that a school or a church should have more influence over your damn child than you.
mhm.
And ooh, girl, that one really, really, really pisses me off. 'Cause you have broken people having broken children, and then so the beat goes on, and that's why we have a broken fucking country. So these boys being Muslim is just like if somebody goes to shoot up a school and they're like, "Jesus told me do it." That does not represent all Christianity and people who believe in Christ because we have a few offshoots. So these were just some of the offshoots. I done told you I've been over there. Then people are not crazy the way Fox News and all these people try to make you think. Don't let them fill your heart with hate because you're only poisoning yourself. You have no proof, no evidence, nothing to go on. You would not bet every penny in your bank account that the hate in your heart and the things you think about people is real. But when it's convenient and doesn't cost you anything, then fuck it, why not? But the secret is that it really is costing you. You just don't know it yet, or it
Mm,
hasn't come time for you to pay up yet. Last two things. We're gonna talk about the death sentence that he was given, which was appealed. Then I think I saw something about the Supreme Court may have gotten started fucking with it last year. So it's probably still ongoing. The prosecutor in there, the United States attorney who was in charge of this said that it is not against the law to speak up to prevent crime. And so that is why when they went around asking the girlfriends or the relatives and all of that, they knew anything and they didn't have to say anything. So if I know a child is being beat or if I have a suspicion and I work in my church or a school, I'm required to say so. But if I know homie is about to go blow the fuck out of the 9/11 towers, I don't have to say so. What do you think?
what? Honestly, if I know I'm not gonna be there, I'm not gonna be around 3rd Street anyways. Let me stop. Like, I get it in the sense of they'll probably say that, like, if you do speak up and it still happens, "Oh, how far were you in the planning process? How far were you into knowing everything?" Like, "Motherfucker, I just found out 2 minutes ago and I called you immediately. Now I'm a co-conspirator," because that's how this country works often. So I get why people would not want to speak up if they knew about something because if that person dies, oh, we need a scapegoat, and you automatically become the scapegoat because you're the person who warned them. So that's the thing that really really bothers me with that. So I appreciative of that law, but I also understand why someone would not do it because if I knew something were to happen, if I can do it anonymously, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that, but the way that our systems work, no anonymity in that. They have your phone number, and from their phone number, they find out your exact location. That's why if you call the police and try to do a joke and hang up the phone immediately, they can pull up on you. Depending on what city and what state you're in, they know exactly where you are. They're gonna knock on your door, "Hey, is everything okay? We got a call." Your phone is even able to send your location to them. So it's like, yeah, I will understand why a person will not want to report. So I think that's a great law in that sense alone. But if we lived in a more forgiving government that actually did the work that they're supposed to do, then I would say we don't need that.
My favorite line from, that was a good sermon right there. You preach hallelujah, tabernacle, and praise. My favorite line from Power, that, that show from Stars with Omari Hardwick's fine as from, and I mean literally fine as, you can see it all over the damn series when he was fucking, that my favorite line from there, they said, "We ain't seen shit, we don't know shit, it ain't shit." And though they knew all the shit and had seen all done all the
Look, looking around the wrong damn apartment. What the fuck you mean? I seen something? I'm blind, bitch. The fuck?
we're just good Christian folk.
Look, my seeing eye dog is out for a walk right now. I don't know what you're talking about. I can't even leave this apartment right now. I don't have my cane. I'm sorry. I can't help.
And so the last right, hallelujah, Jesus. So last thing, y'all, the Jakar was sentenced to death. They did fucked up shit like Vid took his camera feed from his prison cell when he's like flipping off the camera, trying to paint him as this heartless person who don't care and all of this. And when he was sentenced, he didn't show any emotion because they kept just trying to strip the humanity from him. Um, the death sentence seems like it's still ongoing back and forth. I don't see any point. I don't believe in capital punishment. I don't. They already gonna spend the rest of their life behind bars. That's not like some sort of like super high quality of living. I've been to jail. Trust me, it's very dehumanizing already. Killing them ain't gonna bring nobody back. That's just a form of vengeance. And you Christian people out there, you forgot that scripture where Jesus said, "Vengeance is mine," saith the Lord. So you get in your feels and you get angry. I will pray to the Lord about enemies and people who have hurt me and put him on them, but I'm not about to take physical action against somebody because that's not my place. But people like to see death come to people who have killed their loved ones. What do you think?
So for me, I feel like I'm not a supporter of the death penalty at all because like you said, it serves no purpose at all. Like even within the documentary, how they were saying like he was just emotionless or anything. I love that person who said no. He actually seemed like he just had resolution that he was resolved on what's going to happen. Like he knows that he's going to be in jail forever, and he's accepted that. Like, what do you want more from this person? Yes, remorse is important, but to expect that, you have to be willing to unpack everything with this child so he can understand what happened to him, what happened to him as well as what he did to other people. Like for me, justice looks like having those people that suffered or were impacted by certain things like this in the room with you to tell have those impact statements about how the actions really hurt them, what impact their actions had on their lived experience since the bomb. So he can understand how his actions truly impacted these people. Just murdering somebody or killing them because you felt you want them to die because of the loved one that you lost, why? You can only kill a person once. Like, what good does that do for anybody? Now you have to walk around knowing that your decision is the thing that led to this person's death. So, okay.
This is the test of forgiveness, or, and I know not everybody out there believes in any kind of God or an afterlife or anything like that. So if that's the case and you don't give a fuck and you're like, eye for an eye, just kill the bitch and be done with it. And so, so everybody stands on a different point on that. The boy then already got his karma as far as I can see. Not like he was probably popular when he got to wherever he was. So God knows what the hell he may have gone through behind the scenes. So I since he already has his life taken from him, he took people's lives. I mean, how much, more fair can you get? So I hope that, he reflects in there. I hope he thinks about it. Hopefully he comes to some form of like repentance and doesn't, hopefully he can articulate that what he did was wrong. And now that he can see it, no, now that he's no longer the influence of his brother.
Mhm.
So hate me if y'all want to, because I'm not saying burn him at the stake because I don't hold hate in my heart.
Look, punitive dam not punitive damage, but punitive treatment of, people is just like to punish people, make them suffer is just one of those Western things that people just have to let go of. You don't have to make people suffer. People do not have to actively suffer because they've done something wrong. As many people who've been locked up in this country for doing absolutely nothing wrong, like, can we just stop trying to punish people and try to actually look for ways that we're actually helping people? Justice should be restorative. The prison system should be something that's restorative. It should not be there only to punish people. Yes, do they need sometimes behind bars? Yes, but if you're not going to do anything to actually rehabilitate people, to help them find accountability in their actions, then you're not doing anything to help society at all because some people get right back out and they fall in those same patterns because there was absolutely no rehabilitation, just punishment, just hurting this person. And now they're stuck with some additional trauma. And now they're just trying to process that trauma while trying to survive, while also trying to deal with all the shit that goes on in this damn country. And what the best thing that they're going to do is probably hurt somebody so they can get back up in there because at least they have food.
What he's talking about, I'm gonna say this, that I'm gonna let you have the last word because that was my last bullet point, or if there's anything else you want to say. What he means by restorative justice, and I concur with you wholeheartedly. The last time I was locked up, 60 days from trying to cash a check at Bank of America, who banned me for life for this. It was someone else's check. I just went in there. Someone else had stolen the check or crafted them or whatever. I was just homeless, didn't have shit else to do. 60 days, no drug rehabilitation, not a class on why I shouldn't be a thief or trying to write checks, not no help on how to not be homeless when I get out of there. Nothing. 60 days in a cold gray cell with 60 other queer people. No sunlight, no nothing. 60 days, no point. All I did was learn was how to be a better criminal from the other criminals, and I learned that. Then after that, I was back out on the streets with nowhere to go, doing the same shit. Or you could have given me a handout, something, a pamphlet, any fucking thing to do something, but instead it was just punishment for the sake of punishment at the end.
Yeah, the motherfucking end. That's pretty much all. Yeah.
So you can have the last word, say whatever the hell you want to say. Y'all, this has been Dr. Vernon T. Scott from the Soliloquy Podcast, Slater's Playhouse. You're the author of The Essential Guide on How to Be a Hoe, author of Prose from a Soul Seeking Justice, the author of the journal, famous journal, A New Sexual You, Say what you gotta say, and this has been a takedown not a takedown. How do I wanna say what we've done? This has been a peek inside the American Manhunt docuseries, which is now live on Netflix, and a takedown of the bitch ass hatred of the United States of America.
I would say my last words are like "Viva la resistance." That's like because might as well if you're gonna come for me, bitches. But but for real, we do live in a very, very, very toxic environment, and whatever you can do to work towards healing, do that. That can be taking a break, resting, contacting your politicians, protesting. Now, I'm not saying rioting, but I'm a firm believer in rioting, but in a healthy way, actually supportive of other people and not to oppress other people. Find people, love on them, tell your close relatives how much you appreciate their time, and just be happy. Find happiness out here, grab onto it, and let that be your guide to healing because we all deserve healing and we all deserve.
Amen and amen. Thank you all so much for taking time to listen to the Sex, Drugs, and Jesus podcast. It really means everything to me. Look, if you love the show, you can find more information and resources at sexdrugsandjesus.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Feel free to reach out to me directly at Devannon at sexdrugsandjesus.com and on Twitter and Facebook as well. My name is Devannon, and it's been wonderful being your host today. And just remember that everything is going to be all right.